And then also Arion neighborhood, aka AB. Let me tell you something. After, even if somebody was sent by God, after they get done doing that good deed, see, a lot of times we hold on to stuff and things and people way longer than we're supposed to, and then some bad happens, but we don't, and we blame them. But I don't do. That's why I don't do that, because I'm going by what God says. You know what I mean? You know whatever your God is, whatever. You know what I mean? But I'm going, or whatever you want to do. You know what I mean? But my God is no longer myself and my ego and my pride and all this stuff, and how many and how much people like me and all that. I had, you know what I mean. All of that stuff had been stripped away from me, which is okay, you know what I mean? Because it's all about, your mindset, you know what I mean, and things like that, you know what I'm saying? Because I realize, I'm always looking at the potential I'm always looking at the potential of things, you know what I'm saying? You might be able to start off, you know what I mean? And see, you know what I mean? And that's why I was talking about with demons, you know what I mean? They all, the demon's job is to get you into some type of bad habit or a bad way of thinking, or ways of action, and to get you to a point to where you're lascivious, where you don't have no restraint, where you can't stop. You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much, like I keep talking about, that gunshot wound. So you might be able to start off, you know what I'm saying, handling, like I talk about it, like in the streets, like most of the street dudes, people will tell you, you know what I mean, they started off just hanging out. It was just some kids with a group, you know what I mean, doing probably a little hustling, and smoking weed after school, you know what I mean, some, you know what I mean, little parties, little drinking, you know what I mean, before, 18 years old thing, you know what I'm saying, you know how that is, you know, and fighting, or fist fights or whatever. But like, God can contest to this. Towards the end, when God got me, He got me at the right time when He got me out of the streets, because towards the end, people was ready to, we was ready, there was, dudes was ready. They can, it only increases. It's only going to get increased. You're only going to increase in darkness or increase in light. They was ready. They started off fighting and just hanging out, and and playground and stuff and party stuff. You know what I mean, and drinking after school and before 21. But 10 years later, they was ready to lay somebody down. As soon as you look at them wrong. You know what I'm saying? So. The thing that's what it goes down to when it comes to these stages and stuff like that. So I met people that have done some good stuff, and maybe even me too. You know what I mean? And I came to do a good stuff, but holding on too long, all of a sudden something bad happened. You know what I'm saying? That's because we were all sent to do a deed. We're either doing a good one or a bad one, and then we're supposed to move on. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be even married forever. We got another life on the other side of this after we pass away.